Hi, I'm Amy Knessel. I am the organizer for Information Day, and I also helped with the Greenbelt Alliance for Reproductive Freedom booth.
Hi, we're Gate TV. We're doing the Labor Day information booth here in September of 2021, and we're going to be interviewing Kristen Weaver, and she's running for City Council.
I am.
And could you tell us a little bit about yourself and why you want to be on City Council?
Yeah, so I moved to Greenbelt in 2015. I live over in Greenbelt Station, and I've tried to be really active in the community since I started, developing a community in our neighborhood and getting to know my neighbors. But then I started coming to City Council meetings and other things and got more and more involved. And I was ready to be not just a resident voice, but hopefully to be an elected voice for Greenbelt.
That's great. That's great. How do you like the way it works here, I guess?
Well, I think there's a lot to recommend Greenbelt. I love the cooperative attitude and kind of the history of cooperation in Greenbelt. That's something that I found appealing to me when I first moved here, is that history of people coming together to make the community better.
Hey there, Greenbelt. This is Brandon Rick Gordon. I'm out here at the Greenbelt Labor Day Festival Information Day. I'm here with one of my volunteers, Miss Carolyn Lambright Davis, and we are out here letting folks know that it is Residents for Rick. I'm running for City Council here in Greenbelt, so we're here getting information out, letting residents know our vision, our plans, our 8-point plan, common ground agenda for the city of Greenbelt.
I'm humbled and grateful to serve as mayor of Greenbelt, and also it's been an honor to serve as a member of the Greenbelt City Council since 2017. And it's been increasingly important over the last few years, given some really big issues that have come up, particularly as it relates to the pandemic, healthcare issues, and economic issues related to the pandemic as well.
Right. And what do you think upcoming are the big issues for Greenbelt in the next session?
Absolutely. Well, one of the big issues that will continue to be at the top of my mind, as it is on the minds of many of the residents and constituents that I represent, is stopping the maglev, but also stopping the relocation of the Bureau of Engraving and Printing to the Beltsville Agricultural Research Center site, the BARC site. That is something that is a concern to a lot of Greenbelters. Trying to make sure that we continue to protect the environment and expand on our green legacy when it comes to reducing our carbon emissions as a city, and expanding, composting, doing things that we know help make Greenbelt the type of community that is a national model when it comes to environmentalism, and why we're #1 in the entire state of Maryland when it comes to Sustainable Maryland certification.
Yeah. Well, we've done some things right here. Do you think that there's much of a future? We're standing right in front of the Greenbelt Consumer Co-op that just put a couple of hundred solar rooftop PV panels. Do we have? Are you aware of any more such projects in Greenbelt for solar electricity?
Absolutely. Well, of course, we have the solar farm over at Spring Hill Lake Recreation Center. That's a really big issue. Another thing that is important, in addition to composting, is the fact that we really have been working on expanding our electric vehicle infrastructure. We're hoping that federal legislation will help us with that infrastructure, the electric vehicle infrastructure, because again, that'll help to make us a city that's pumping out less carbon emissions and supportive of a very not so new technology, but a very important technology that'll wean us off of dirty types of energy sources. And so dirty fuel is something that hopefully ultimately will be a thing of the past, but obviously I know it's a transition period to get folks to move from traditional vehicles to electric vehicles. But I hope that we can do that not only with electric vehicle infrastructure for our residents in general, but also for our city workers who are driving around in vehicles, whether it's in public works or police, so on and so forth. So those are really important things that I hope will continue to expand on going forward.
So, man, it's a beautiful day out here in Roosevelt Center, and it's Information Day, so there have to be about 20 different tables, community-based organizations in Greenbelt, all sorts of wonderful information. I really enjoy coming out here on Information Day because you get a chance to talk to the folks that are involved in so many different projects, environmental projects. Got some folks advocating for transportation, anti-maglev, which, I got the hat right here. It's just a great day, and it's a great chance for folks from these different organizations to come out and talk about what they're doing.
Right. Now you're a candidate for city council again this time. You've had 12 years and you're going to have another couple of years if you're elected. What do you see as the big issues facing Greenbelt right now that you want to work on?
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of things that are going on that we need to address, and first and foremost is just dealing with COVID and trying to come up with a holistic approach to allocating the funding that we have to really make sure that we can improve everyone's life. So that's residents, people who live in apartments, people that live in houses, it's business owners, it's landlords, it's all of us together. So we've got some funding to work with, and my priority is coming up with a holistic plan that will allow Greenbelt to thrive, as we go forward.
I'm Delegate Nicole Williams. I serve on the Judiciary Committee in Annapolis for the Maryland House of Delegates. This past session, we enacted groundbreaking legislation as it relates to police reform, really revamping the way we view and deal with policing here in the state of Maryland. And so I was really happy and proud to be an integral part of that this past legislative session. With this upcoming session, we'll be dealing with a lot of different issues, one of which is whether or not we are going to legalize recreational use of cannabis here in the state of Maryland. I've been appointed by the Speaker to serve on the work group to study that issue this upcoming legislative session. And so if you have any thoughts, ideas, feel free to send me an email. My email address is simply nicole.williams@house.state.md.us. I would love to get your input on whether or not we should put that on the ballot this upcoming election.
What are the biggest issues you think are facing us right now in the state?
Right now, and thank you for the great question, because right now I'm just so sorry that everybody's going through this terrible pandemic, and we're losing lives that have occurred in the state of Maryland in a historic fashion. And right now, one of the biggest things is healthcare for all, making sure everyone's taken care of, access to vaccinations, ensuring that we have adequate education. Learning loss for our students is a huge deal this last year, because they had essentially a year off of school, off of having a teacher right in front of them. And fortunately for us, we have to balance our budget. The federal government does not have to balance a budget, but here in the state of Maryland, we do have to balance our budget. We have a $43 billion budget now in the state of Maryland, and we're going to make sure that that's taken care of, but making sure that we don't have to cut any resources to seniors, to our students, and to poor families here in Maryland and here in Prince George's County especially.
Sure. So what will get cut, do you think, if we have to?
We're going to cut tax credits for billionaires and millionaires. I mean, that's the thing that we're not going to allow anymore, right? And these big businesses that are just taking advantage of the state tax system, and we're not going to allow that anymore. That's going to be the first thing that we cut. Other than that, we don't foresee any cuts in our library system, in education, and in services for our seniors, in vaccinations, in healthcare. We're going to improve on those things as much as we possibly can, because that's important. As Marylanders, it is our responsibilities as elected leaders here in the state to make sure that every Marylander is taken care of, and that starts from the bottom up. Economically, obviously we got some ways to go, because we do have some folks who are not working right now and cannot find a job, and the evictions moratorium just occurred. It's ended recently, and so we're going to see a slew of evictions that's going to happen here, even here in Greenbelt. In Spring Hill Lake, and we can't allow that to happen. And so there's so many issues that we have to take care of. I don't foresee us having a severe breakdown in our economy. As long as we keep on making sure that we invest in our people, I think we're going to be just fine.
Hi, I'm here with Donna Hoffmeister at the Labor Day 2021 information booth. Could you tell us a little bit about what the Jim Cassels Community Service Award is?
So for the last 15 years, actually, the grocery store has given out $1,200 for something that does a good deed, does a service in the community. And we've actually had a great many projects that concerned children. The children did an animation video for the anniversary of Greenbelt. The kids at the elementary school had a project about watersheds, and they needed the money to do field trips to learn about how to protect streams. We've had many concerts in the Roosevelt Center put on by the Eleanor Roosevelt students. And we've had actually a marvelous, we supported a marvelous dance concert celebrating the 1812, the women in the 1812 war. The volunteers at the community, at the animal shelter actually had a series of workshops to help children learn how to deal with their pets when they become unruly or hostile. So we've done this now for 15 years, and the deadline is October 15th. And the application is fairly simple. The criteria is mainly that it supports a project that serves the people of Greenbelt. It's an online application. You can get it from the grocery store website. It's due October 15th, and it will be awarded in November at the annual meeting.
We represent the Greenbelt Alliance for Reproductive Freedom. We're an organization that has been in existence for 2 years, providing educational and advocacy for women in Prince George's County and in other counties around Maryland as we partner with other organizations. You asked me about what has happened in Texas, and we, like all other organizations that focus on women's issues, are shocked, maybe not shocked, but surprised at how unequal this decision is for women in Texas. It also has major repercussions around the United States. We in Maryland are very lucky that the provisions of Roe v. Wade are currently in effect here in Maryland. They have been in effect for quite a long time, following a referendum in which Maryland residents expressed their desire to have women's rights for abortions, for choice, enshrined in our laws. We advocate also for reproductive issues such as birth control, availability of hygiene products for our women, for access to clear and intelligent medical information for women. And we are looking for women and men in Greenbelt and Prince George's County to work with us.
Hey, so we're with the Greenbelt GHI Woodlands Committee, and we're concerned with the management, maintenance, and preservation of the GHI common spaces and woodlands. And this year we've added a map of the trails in GHI and also show where the forest preserve starts. We do lots of work projects, so we're working on a lot of the trails. We have people that are doing pocket gardens or little community gardens or making their common spaces nicer. We have a plant swap coming up in October, so keep an eye out for that. And at the plant swap, we'll also be handing out the scavenger hunt.
Yeah, we put together this scavenger hunt sheet for families. There's one side for non-readers, little kids, and they can go through their community and find these little animals and plants and things. On the other side, we have a list of text, so the readers can find a little more complicated things, and everything on this sheet can be found in Greenbelt. You can use these sheets over and over again, and they're great for 4 seasons because we see different things in different parts of the year in our community. So we'll have these available at our plant swap. It's going to be October 9th. Let's walk over here and we'll take a look at these maps. So one of the members on our committee put together these maps that show many of the trails that we're so blessed to have in Greenbelt. So this map shows trails that you can access through GHI. These are the areas that GHI controls. And then this is the woodland preserve that's part of Greenbelt. And as you can see, There are lots of intersecting trails. You can wander around back there and really feel like you're not living in an urban environment. These maps are accessible through OpenStreetMap, so you can access them online.
And I think that's it.
I think that's probably all we have for today.
Well, Scottish country dancing is social dancing, much like American Square or contra dancing. It's not performance dancing. It's not demonstration dancing. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. We generally do it in groups of 4 people, or 4 couples, 4 couples. And the music is great. A lot of fiddle, accordion type music. It's great music. I mean, the music is just great just to listen to. If you don't dance, you just sit and listen to it. It's great, good fun. We dance in the community center, in the dance studio on Tuesday nights when they'll open it up and let us in. Right now, we are not dancing, but we still like to have people interested in our dance group and give out information. So when we do start, we got lots of people that can join us.
Can anybody join in if you've never country danced, Scottish country danced in your life? Can you still join in?
Oh, yeah, right. Well, my wife and I, that's what we did. We didn't do any dancing. I didn't do any dancing at all. And some, like Bill, might say I still don't. But, yeah, anybody can come.
So you mentioned the kilt earlier. A kilt is not required. So if guys are thinking, oh, I'm not going to wear a kilt, so I'm not going to do this, you don't have to wear a kilt. The ladies like it when you do, but you don't have to.
I flew in from Boxwood moments ago, and I used my pixelated powers to teach children animation. This fall, we'll be visiting Prince George's County Public Schools, including Eleanor Roosevelt High School. And we're offering a rec department class, or a digital art class through the rec department for children age 11 and older. My pixelated powers include scanning children's drawings, helping them color their drawings on the computer, and making the images move.
The Green Team undertakes actions dealing with all different facets of sustainability. And we have what we call circles. So there's a solar circle, deals with solar energy, an electric vehicle circle that deals with electric vehicles. There's a zero waste circle that Tom is very active in that deals with making events zero waste and encouraging others to go zero waste. We work with recycling, encouraging that and educating people, composting, the whole gamut related to sustainability.
Everything that you can think of that's sustainability, we have a circle that's working on it and advocating for it.
Yeah, I see you have a board here, composting, solar energy, which you're also with the solar community, a clothing shed, recycling, of course. I mean, just about everything. And if we're number 1 in the state, that is absolutely a great achievement that you all have helped pull off.
Well, we want to try to go even further, because now we'll the city of Greenbelt has declared a climate emergency, and the UN has declared that there is a crisis. The head of the climate body said that it's a red alert, and we've got to act, and we've got to act quickly.
We have lots of needs for volunteers, so if anybody wants to get involved, just contact John as the chair, and he'll forward you to the right person, the right committee to work on things. So there's a chance for everybody to get involved.
We are a Venturing Crew 746. We are sponsored by Moab Memorial Methodist Church up on Ridge Road in Greenbelt. And we are part of the Boy Scouts of America umbrella of programs. So we are co-ed. It's for teens, young adults, 14 years of age to 20. So we do a lot of, it's all about going on these adventures, backpacking, mountain biking, whitewater rafting, all sorts of high adventure stuff. And through those, the youth are totally in charge of planning it and running it. And the adults are there to mentor and guide them and help them learn the leadership skills necessary to lead those trips, to go on those trips.
As crew president, it's my responsibility kind of to keep things organized, to help, make sure who's doing what, to kind of help organize things, make sure that activities are getting planned.
You lead the meetings.
Yeah, I lead the meetings.
She's in the highest youth position that we have in the crew. So she's kind of in charge of delegating everything.
Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Delegate.
Yeah, delegate everything to the other youth members.
And where do you go for your backpacks and do you do canoeing and kayaking?
We want to. We haven't gotten to yet. Our first activity was actually, I think, last week. We went to Great Falls and we got to hike the trail, a lot of rock scrambling. That was really great. Everybody really enjoyed themselves.
But if people are interested in finding out about us, they should email Venture Crew. Wait, I gotta make sure I got it right. VentureCrew746@gmail.com. And then they can just email, and that email comes to me, and I can answer any of their questions about coming out to check us out, or the activities that we're doing, and everything like that.
Hi, here at the Greenbelt Labor Day Festival information booth, we have Kim Cash. She is part owner of the newly renovating Granite building, which served as a doctor's office for many, many years, and now it's going to serve as many things. So maybe she'll tell us a little bit about it. Here's Kim.
Hello. So my partners and I are 3 Greenbelt families, and we bought the Granite building in part because we saw a need for a sort of a fresh face in Roosevelt Center, and partly because I'm a realtor and I had been showing this property to lots and lots of small business owners over the couple of years that it had been for sale, and I knew that there was a need for space for small business owners in town. Lots of small business owners need basically just a desk and a quiet space to work, and so now we're offering that to 20 plus small business owners.
That's great. I was interviewing just a little bit ago Rachel, who's opening a wellness center. Can you describe some of the other businesses that will be operating out of this location?
Sure. We also have a nurse practitioner who's going to be opening a family practice. So we will once again have a family practice in Roosevelt Center. We also have several writers of one kind or another. One person is doing communications writing, one person does technical writing. We've got a fashion blogger, and we also have someone who designs and builds databases. We've got a lawyer, a new young lawyer who will be, Roosevelt Center's only lawyer. And who else do we have? We have someone who does textile conservation for museums. So that's a sort of an interesting specialty. So really a Duke's mixture.
And I'm standing here with Rachel Pitts. She will be renting a space here to do wellness coaching in the renovated Granite building. Rachel, could you tell us a little bit about what you're going to be doing?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll be bringing my work as a wellness practitioner. I have a master's in nutrition and a master's in wellness coaching, and I've been apprenticing for a few years in therapeutic breath work. So I work with people for about an hour, and we'll talk about your wellness goals related to food and sleep and anything that comes up. And I work with a really generous sliding scale, so I hope nobody in Greenbelt who wants wellness support feels like they'll need to be turned away.
Great. And when do you expect this will be open and ready? Do you have a date?
Yeah, so we're just waiting for a few final pieces on the renovation of the space. It's going to be beautiful, and they're hoping for October. As soon as it's open, you'll hear more, hopefully, in the news review and updates on our website. We're really excited. Everybody that's in the space is a Greenbelt resident, so it's full of Greenbelters here to serve the Greenbelt community.
Great.
Yeah.
And so now with wellness coaching, do you do exercise as well as meditation maybe techniques? It's a holistic approach?
Yeah, so my approach is holistic, and I won't do any physical training. I don't prescribe supplements or make wellness plans, but what I do is hold kind of like a counseling session, coaching, to explore what the next best thing is for somebody to do in their wellness work, and mindfulness is a foundation of what I do.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. That sounds great.
Yeah, I'm really excited to bring it to Greenbelt.
Okay, I'm standing here with Julia Gabriel. She's a nurse practitioner that's going to be operating here in the, well, I guess figuratively and literally operating here in the new renovated granite building. Julia, could you tell me a little bit about what you're going to be doing?
Sure. So I'm a family nurse practitioner. I see children and adults. And in Maryland, nurse practitioners have full practice authority. So that means I function as a primary care provider. Anything your doctor would do, a general practitioner, I do. So lab work, prescriptions, I do everything for children and adults, vaccines, pap smears, mammograms. We're going to have COVID testing, like a doctor's office, yeah. And we'll be right here in the Granite building in the bottom level, Suite 104. I'm working in Langley Park as a nurse practitioner, so I've been doing that for a couple years. So I speak Spanish. Most of my patients now are all Spanish speaking, so I'm hoping that a lot of them will come here to see me. I work with the immigrant community a lot, so a lot of people don't know, but immigrants get ankle monitors put on them when they come to the U.S., even for asylum. So I write a lot of letters to have them removed, and I speak Spanish, so hoping to connect with that community here also. So I do kind of urgent care and primary care right now in Langley Park, and I will be moving here to Greenbelt. We will also probably have the Pfizer vaccine for COVID for people who need boosters or who haven't been vaccinated yet, and that's free as well.
Hi, I'm talking to Nikki Kelly. She works here at Chasen Boscolo law firm, and it has grown a lot since they first got here in 1985 or 86? 86. I know because I was one of their early clients, and here is Nikki to tell you a little bit about what they are now, 40 years later.
Hi. It's Nikki Kelly. I'm a senior case manager with Chasen Boscolo Injury Lawyers. I'm going on 16 years with the firm. I currently work out of our Greenbelt office. Since the firm began 35 years ago, we now have 4 offices: a Waldorf, Maryland office, Falls Church, Virginia office, and a Baltimore office. We're in the communities, in and out all the time, looking to help those that have been injured, either at work or negligence of someone else, car crashes, slip and fall. We are on the website, chasenboscolo.com. Thank you for having us here, and have a great weekend.
Well, I can attest to that. When I had a lawsuit, my daughter, who's now 41, was 6 years old, got hit by a car, and I had not a clue what to do, and I contacted the then very young Benjamin Boscolo, and he did a great job representing us. So,
awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good rest of the weekend.